Hello and welcome to the next step in our journey through Othello. And without further ado, let's see where we are in Act 4, Scene 3. And this is an interesting little scene, and it's interesting in lots of ways. One of the reasons is because it's kind of proto-feminist, you could describe it as. Obviously, this is kind of relative for the time. It's Shakespeare as a male writer of that era, writing for male actors pretending to be women. But again, relatively for the time, we can argue that there are some progressive ideas in here in regards to the roles of women and the lives of women. So it's an interesting little scene. It's not that long a scene actually as well, but there's some good stuff in here as well. Particularly good if you're writing about female characters, or you're going to mention Emilia, or obviously Desdemona is obviously a big character in it. But anyway, let's have a look. Right, so following on from the last scene as well, remember we had Ludovico, he's related to Desdemona as well. He's been confused by Othello's behaviour, what he's seen. Remember that Othello hit Desdemona in front of everyone in public as well. Othello sends Desdemona off to bed. Get you to bed on the instant, I will be returned forthwith. This is of course because he has been reprogrammed to seek what he thinks is suitable punishment for Desdemona. He's plotting to kill her in bed at basically a Iago suggestion. So Emilia and Desdemona set about preparing for bed. Obviously not with Emilia as well. That makes the play even more complicated. But it's just going to be Desdemona on her own. Anyway, he looks gentler than he did. So Othello appears to have calmed down. But of course, this is actually, it's quite subtle, but it's another one that's good for appearance versus reality. That theme where we've got, maybe he looks like he's calmer than he was, but he's planning to kill Desdemona. So it's another good one for that. So let's move on. So give him my nightly wearing, get into her night clothes. And then this is significant as well. And because Desdemona had asked Emilia to put the bed sheets from the wedding on the bed as well. So she's done that. And this is actually all contributing to the symbolism and significance of what's going to be happening in the final scene of the play. This is all about Shakespeare controlling the tension, developing the tension, and also creating pathos for Desdemona here as well. So we have all's one, good faith, how foolish are our minds, if I do die before thee, prithee shroud me in one of those same sheets. So this again is darkly foreboding the future. It's an ominous premonition of what's to come. So the idea that Desdemona, she's thinking, if I die before you, then use those sheets as my funeral shroud, basically. Then Desdemona tells a story that links to the past and links to what's happening in the present as well. So mother had a maid called Barbary, so she tells this story. And Barbary had her own sad story. She was in love, and he she loved proved mad and did forsake her. She had a song of willow, so she had this sad song. She died singing it. So this again is all about foreshadowing Desdemona's imminent death. Sing it like poor Barbary. So this is an interesting line. I've put a little green blob here to remind me to talk about this, because some versions of the play, some editors move this line around. So this Lodovico is a proper man. Some have it so Desdemona says it, and some have it so Emilia says it. And if you do that, it actually changes some of the meaning. If it's Desdemona saying it, like in this version that I'm using here, if Desdemona says it, it actually implies maybe that, maybe I should have got together with Ludovico, her cousin, according to the cast, character list at least. Okay. And it could be her saying it, but Emilia, if it's Emilia saying it, then I think that's probably more effective, because this could detach some pathos, particularly for a contemporary audience, Shakespeare's time, from Desdemona. So anyway, look at your version of it. What have you got in the version that you're using? See what it says. So it's, yeah, A.J. Honigman is the one who edited it and put it with Emilia instead. So have a look, just have a look. It changes the meaning slightly. If it's what you're using, say in an exam, you go with the edition that you're using in the exam. That makes life easier. But you could still refer to this as a context point. So Emilius is a very handsome man and he speaks well. I know a lady in Venice would have walked barefoot to Palestine for a touch of his nether lip. So this is Emilia, or Shakespeare here is giving Emilia lines where we've got female conversational speech talking about how desirable Ludovico is. It's effectively, it's almost a bit like gossip, really, in a way, you could argue, if you want to be really dismissive of it. But the other way of looking at this is that it's Shakespeare creating realistic characters, and he's giving his female characters real focus in this scene, and he's building up those characters. So then Desdemona sings this actual sad song, Willows, of symbolism of sadness. It's really obvious because of weeping willows, if you think of it in that way. And we have her singing her song. So this is again going to be about creating pathos, Desdemona. So the song here suggests the theme of infidelity as well. If I caught more women, you'll couch with more men. So that links to the themes of the play as well. Mine eyes do itch, doth that bode weeping? So again, Shakespeare is suggesting the tragedy to come. Oh, these men, dost thou in conscience think, tell me, Emilia, that there be women who do abuse their husbands in such gross kind? So this is where it gets probably closest to the idea of being a proto-feminist kind of speech. Again, I've explained at the start of the video some of the context for that there as well. But Desdemona is obviously younger than Emilia. Emilia is more of a wiser, older woman. Not old woman, but older than Desdemona. And so she's seen more of the world. And she says, well, yeah, I'm sure there are women in the world who do horrible things to their husbands as well. Wouldst thou do such a deed for all the world? And thinking about, well, yeah, I'd probably do it. Emilia says, why would not you? Yeah, I'd do it for the world. Yeah, I'd betray my husband for the world. That's too important a prize. There's some interesting light and dark imagery here, which I haven't highlighted, I just noticed as well. But obviously that's antithetical. But really, again, you could say it's symbolising Desdemona's relationship with Othello, and again maybe it's foreshadowing the tragedy to come as well. He's going to murder her, so the light and dark, there is a sense of that there as well. Anyway, the world's a huge thing. It is a great price for a small vice, so betraying a husband would be worth it for the whole world. You could argue here Emilia is in tune with her own husband in a way. She's obviously nowhere near as she's not villainous at all, and she's nowhere near as immoral as Iago. But it's interesting that she'd be prepared to sell him out for power and gain. That is an interesting idea. Then, I would not do such a thing for a joint ring, nor measures of law, nor for gowns, petticoats, or caps, or any petty exhibition, but for the whole world. So for minor stuff, no, I wouldn't do it. But for the whole world, who would not make her husband a cuckold to make him a monarch? I should venture purgatory for it. So she thinks the prize is so great, to betray is worth it. But shrew me if I would do such a wrong for the whole world. So you have Shakespeare here really emphasising Desdemona's virtuous nature there as well. Then again, you could say Shakespeare giving a voice to women here as well, but I do think it is their husband's fault if wives do fall. So saying actually you're in a world where it's a misogynist world of Shakespeare's time, and women will be blamed for pretty much everything, particularly in relationships and obviously things like that. So, but it's the other way around here. So Emilia is saying, well, it's her husband's fault if they slack their duties, as in they're not doing, how can I put this delicately? doing their duty in the bedroom between the sheets. Let's say it like that. Again, let's be mindful of YouTube. And pour our treasures into foreign laps, or else break out in peevish jealousies, throwing restraint upon us, or say they strike us, or scant our former, and having in despite. While we have gauze, and though we have some grace, yet have we some revenge. So if we're mistreated in some way, then we deserve to get our own revenge. Let husbands know their wives have sense like them. They see and smell. This actually is very similar to Shylock in Merchant of Venice, actually, if you know that play. Different context, different situation, but giving a voice to a group of people who don't normally have a voice. They see and smell, have their palates both the sweet and sour as husbands have. So women are people as well. And this is an era when they assume man equals human effectively, and woman is a inferior version of that. That's the world of Shakespeare's time. What is it they do when they change us for others? Is it sport? I think it is. So it's just a game to them. So when men are cheating, it's just a game to them. Doth affection breed it? I think it doth. If frailty thus errs, it is so too. And have not we affections, desires for sport, frailty, and as men have? So she say we're just the same. But we get treated terribly, but women are just the same, have the same emotions. And Emilia's line here is really interesting because we have, then let them use us well, else let them know the ills we do, their ills instruct us so. So nice rhyming couplet here as well. And then the idea of men better treat us well, otherwise we will get our revenge effectively. Then finishes with more of a sense of optimism here, not to pick bad from bad, but by bad men. So the idea is, following on from Emilia's line, the idea of Desdemona, there's a sense of it being optimistic here, not to pick bad from bad, but by bad men. So there's maybe a sense of reconciliation and things turning out all right. And of course, Shakespeare's doing this because he's setting up the fact that if you had Desdemona say, I think he's going to kill me, he's really angry with me, it doesn't really work for creating dramatic tensions. So it's going to be more interesting to leave us with a little glimmer of optimism from Desdemona, because that will enhance the tragedy. So anyway, that's the end of that one. Thank you for listening. Like, comment, subscribe, notification bell, and look at my other videos. I say look, you should also listen to them as well. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you on the next one. Goodbye.